Today we're diving straight into it. What's really happening in the Fernie real estate market right now? There's one trend in the data that we simply can't ignore, and it may be the first clear sign of a major shift underway. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Fernie, timing is everything, especially in a small, high-demand resort community with limited inventory. Before we reveal the key trend emerging this month, let's start with a 20-second snapshot of exactly where the market stands heading into the winter season. In November of 2025, Fernie delivered one of the clearest examples of a split market we've seen all year. Let's break it down by property type. Single-family homes, Fernie recorded 5 sales in November, a 25% increase year over year. The benchmark price climbed to $1,022,600. And that is up 7.5% from last year. Across the Kootenays region, the average days to sell for single-family homes is 72 days, and that is down 16.1% from last year. Townhomes, Fernie saw 3 sales, which is a decline of 50% year over year. Benchmark pricing, however, rose to $606,600, up 5.4% year over year. Condos and apartments, November recorded zero, down 100% year over year. But benchmark pricing still increased to $546,800, up 5.9%. At the regional level, the Kootenays, single-family home sales across the Kootenays grew by 17.9%. Townhome sales dropped by 14.3%. Condo sales fell 27.3%, and overall inventory for single-family homes sits at 635 units, which is down 2.6% year over year. So Fernie is outperforming the broader region in pricing, but volume is tightening, and that tension is where the real story begins. Here's exactly what it looks like on the ground in the trenches here in Fernie. Last year, when a well-priced single-family home in central Fernie, downtown area, hit the market around the $900,000 mark, you could expect multiple offers, often 4, 5, even 6 groups competing for that one property. But this November, even with the benchmark price over $1 million, the story has changed. Homes still receive interest, but instead of 5 offers, we're seeing 1 serious offer, maybe 2. And in several cases, properties have taken longer to secure the right buyer. Demand hasn't disappeared, it's just becoming more selective, and that selective demand is the early signal of a shift. Now, here's the signal in the data. The share of homes selling at or over list price is slipping, both regionally and within Fernie. We don't have a specific over-ask metric for Fernie alone, but the pattern is unmistakable based on days on market increases, price adjustments, and reduced competition. Across the region, days to sell for townhomes is now 93 days, up a staggering 76.5% year over year. Condo inventory has risen 3.3%, and even though sales have fell 27.3%. When homes take longer to sell and when fewer sell at or above asking, leverage starts to shift. It doesn't mean prices are falling or that they'll fall immediately, especially in a place like Fernie where limited supply supports the values, but it does mean that momentum is normalizing. We're not seeing a freeze, we're not seeing a cooling, maybe a slight cooling, I guess. But it is clear in bidding intensity and in real estate, momentum shifts before prices do. Now let's talk interest rates, because this is one of the biggest forces shaping the next 6 to 18 months. The Bank of Canada has begun easing, but it's slow. Let's be honest, they're slow. Meanwhile, approximately 75% of all Canadian mortgages will renew between now and the end of 2026. Many homeowners locked into ultra-low rates during the pandemic, and even with modest cuts, their payments may still reset noticeably higher. National banks have publicly prepared for this, setting aside additional funds for potential loan losses and renewal strain. While Fernie isn't a foreclosure-heavy market, increased renewal pressure can still lead to a rise in listings from owners who choose to sell rather than absorb the higher monthly payments. In a small market with limited annual transaction volume, even a modest, slight increase in listings can shift the balance between buyers and sellers. Now, this doesn't mean a wave of distress. It simply means motivation levels, they'll diversify, and that tends to cool price acceleration. So what should you do if you're a buyer? If you're buying in Fernie, the next few months may represent a rare opportunity, not just because house prices are dropping, but because competition is softening. So here's your action plan. First and foremost, go talk to your bank, go talk to your mortgage broker. You need to secure a rate, hold, and get your pre-approval ready and ready to go. Even small rate declines combined with softening demand can give the buyer more negotiating room. Next, you're going to target homes that have been on the market slightly longer than the norm. Regionally, townhomes are sitting around 93 days before selling. Give me an example of a townhome owner that hasn't been trying to sell for the last 90 days, that isn't begging for an offer right now. Okay, that gives you some chances for some negotiating power and to come in strong. Sellers with extended days on markets often become more flexible. Now you got to leverage the momentum shift. If fewer homes are selling at or above list price, negotiations open up. You'll be able to negotiate on price, subjects, inspection, closing dates, etc. When bidding wars fade, terms matter again. Now, pay close attention to the benchmark pricing. Fernie is one of the few markets in the region still seeing super strong year-over-year price growth. Single-family homes went up 7.5%, 5.4% for townhomes, and 5.9% for condos. That tells us that Fernie remains resilient and tough, just like me. Buying during a softer competition window in a resilient market is often the sweet spot. So now, what would you do if you're a seller? Well, for sellers, this is a moment where our strategy matters more than ever. If you intend on selling in Fernie, first of all, you need to price match the leverage shift. Overpricing and seeing what you can get and testing the market, that ain't gonna work no more. Homes that test the market often end up making multiple price adjustments, which signals weakness to buyers, but more importantly, it signals the fact that you kind of guessed it wrong, okay? And if you're sitting on that market, you need to be aggressive. If you went high to start and you see that nothing's happening, the market is telling you you're too high. You need to reduce that price and you need to get aggressive on it. Lean into preparation and presentation, with buyers becoming more selective, listings with updated photos, strong online presence, good social media, and accurate pricing stand out dramatically against those that don't. Timing still matters. November and December tend to be quieter months across the Kootenays, but come late February and March, Fernie historically sees renewed activity, especially in advance of the spring season and ski travel momentum. Now I'm going to give a caveat to that, because at the ski hill in the winter, we're coming into prime season to purchase that place. You're going to be looking at stuff on MLS. You're going to talk to me. We're going to go over some things. You're going to get to town. You're going to go and visit some properties, and then you're going to make a decision. So things are going to happen for the people that want to buy on the ski hill in December, January, and February. So get ready. Now you need to know your property trends. Single family houses are performing the best right now. Townhomes and condos require more careful positioning because sale volume is tight. Sellers who adapt quickly to the market shift maintain leverage. Sellers who don't, they just won't. So here's the bottom line. So it's a big change coming to Fernie real estate market, absolutely. But it's not a crash, it's not a freeze, and it's not a reversal. It's a normalization, a cooling of momentum, and a return to balanced decision making. We're going back to what it was pre-pandemic, when you could go and you can look at a few houses, have a choice. If you don't see something you like, you just wait. And that's where we are right now. Prices remain strong, especially in the single family segment, but buyer behavior is changing. That's often the earliest indicator of where the market is headed next. For buyers, this means more negotiation space. For sellers, means a sharper strategy and a tighter pencil. And for Fernie overall, it means a shift towards stability after years of several years of intense volatility and action.